We shall shortly return to the specifics of the third option that Rashi offers, to the Ani Hashem of Vayikra 18 Pasuk 2, but first a slight digression to Shemot 6 Pasuk 2, the Pasuk referred to earlier, in which the Ani Hashem, implying accountability, is used the very first time in God's communication with Moshe. The phrase Vayomer Elav can be found in 4 locations in Chumash Shemot. In 3 of those references, the subject is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as he communicates information to Moshe. The first, in the 4th parak of Sefer Shemot, comes in response to Moshe's assertion that Bnei Yisrael will not believe that he speaks in the name of God. To which we have, Vayomer Elav Hashem, what is that in your hand? To which Moshe responds, it is a mateh, a staff. He was then told to cast the staff to the ground, which he dutifully did, and it turned into a serpent. The second location has been referred to earlier, Shemot Perek 6, where we have Vayidaber Elokim el Moshe, and tells him Ani Hashem. The third time is when Moshe is given instructions to prepare the people for Matan Torah, Vayomer Elav Hashem lech reid, go down to the people and make your final preparation. The Vayomer Elav of Shemot Perek 6 is the most interesting, on account of its anomalies. Firstly, repetition. We have Vayidaber Elokim el Moshe, and then we have Vayomer Elav. Secondly, an anomaly that would be a challenge for those who subscribe to multiple authorship, based upon the changes in the Chumash text with reference to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Here we have such a name change in the same pasuk, but of course without a parallel narrative. We have God as Elokim, speaking with Moshe, telling him that I am God, using the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei descriptive. A third anomaly is the use of 2 expressions connoting speech, Vayidaber and Vayomer. And while on the topic of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei and Elokim, in Perek 6 of Shemot, references to God as Yud-Kei Vav-Kei communicating with Moshe can be found 12 times, whereas God as Shem Elokim only once. The only other time where we have God as Elokim speaking is in Shemot 20, the statement prior to the Aseret HaDibrot, Vayidaber Elokim et kol hadvarim ha'ele lemor. Aside from these 2 instances, there is no reference throughout all of Sefer Shemot in which we have God as Elokim communicating either to Moshe or to the nation. Nor, for that matter, in Sefer Vayikra or Sefer Bamidbar. Dvarim, of course, is a different kettle of fish in that it is Moshe speaking to the people in the first person, and therefore the rules do change. It was argued earlier with respect to Vayikra 18:2 that Rashi is forced to read in 2 other options to the Ani Hashem Elokechem, 1 a request, 2 a warning, because neither Ani Hashem Elokechem as an introduction nor accountability apply to this phrase. Similarly, it might be argued that the Ani Hashem of Shemot 6:2 could not serve as a polite introduction as to who it was that was speaking to Moshe, because this had taken place 2 parakim earlier at the burning bush, and therefore there was no point in Hashem coming to Moshe informing him that it was God who was speaking to him. Similarly, the second option for Hashem, namely the accountability factor, seems to not apply, because what we have here is accountability that precedes the obligation. In this case, the obligation is a series of narratives whereby Moshe is told to inform the Bnei Yisrael that 1, the God speaking to him now is the same God that communicated with Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, that he had also established and re-established the commitment to give them the land of Canaan as an inheritance, and that thirdly, he was well aware of the pain and suffering that the Bnei Yisrael were forced to endure at the hand of the Egyptians. And therefore, as far as Shemot 6:2 is concerned, the Ani Hashem cannot be understood as informing Moshe of any accountability, which begs the question that if in Vayikra 18:2, where we reject option 1 and option 2, and Rashi is forced to provide option 3, why is it that in Shemot 6:2, Rashi is still able to read into the Ani Hashem an element of accountability, as Rashi does in his commentary to this passuk?